All right. I titled this live stream, Exploring Out Loud How Freestyle Might Be an Antidote to Cancel Culture and Rivalrous Discourse. And so I'm going to endeavor here to really be at the edge of my thinking and to freestyle my way through it. And something that is at the edge of my thinking here is how important it is that we say what we mean and mean what we say. We feel a sense of responsibility about the information and the ideas and the stories, the memes that we share. To me, this is very important. It's like, in a way, we are all journalists now. And so we should all speak as we would hold a journalist accountable to speaking. And at the same time, we need more people who are willing to think out loud in public and to potentially be wrong and to be exposed, to risk their reputation by sharing the process rather than waiting until they arrive at a certain destination before they speak. And what is the reason for this? Why would we need that? Well, I think we need that to inspire more people to involve themselves in the process of sense-making, of truth-seeking, and of self-discovery, involve themselves and participate in the process rather than relying solely on others to do the sense-making for them. I will forever proxy out some of my sense-making to people whom I trust and who are wiser and more intelligent than I. But I cannot lose my capacity to practice it myself. And so that is why the tension of these two opposites are important. So we have sharing the process, thinking in public, and then we have meaning what we say, saying what we mean, being prudent and thoughtful and careful. How do we do both? And so I think that we need sort of a set of agreements in the platforms and the forums where we share ideas. So I need a space where I can go, where when I post something, when I share a video or a thought or an idea or a story, I am saying this is a good representation of me and what it is I believe. Now I need another space. I need a forum where I can go and I can just freestyle. I can just discover freely with other people and not be identified as the things that I say. Where I can be entirely willing to let what come out, be absurd, ridiculous, wrong, offensive, triggering, all of those things. I need both of these containers, I feel, to do really good sense making and then to also arrive at direction. Like to arrive at a place where I feel like the direction that I am moving, where I am focusing my energy and attention is good. It is at least a good start. I need both of these because sometimes my need to do the right thing and not spread, say, misinformation or bad ideas or my own egoic agenda, sometimes how my need to not do that can get in the way of my process of honest self-discovery. So I still need a space where I can do honest self-discovery. And freestyle, let me tell you, freestyle has been that tool for me in many ways. And so I want to share freestyle as a practice. And let me say, before I continue about what freestyle is to me, I am borrowing this psychotechnology, this art, this practice from the culture that is hip hop. Okay? So it has its roots. And I am admittedly repurposing it. That's all I'll say about that for now. And the way that I am sharing freestyle as a practice is in the way of a stream of consciousness that is an allowance of letting whatever comes up come out. And this is done in an intentional container where every participant going in knows that what someone says, that is not what they are. We're not going to hold them to that. So we need a space where like journalists, politicians, thought leaders can literally go and be safe to just utter nonsense. Because I don't think that I mean, I think there are a lot of very intelligent, thoughtful people doing important work, and there's like this cancel culture that is stifling them. No matter what mimetic tribe one belongs to, if you openly question the narrative that connects the members of that tribe, there is a likelihood that you'll be labeled as something like a shill or a sheep or a normie or a, you name it, right? Depends on the tribe, and there's different names for these people that question the narrative. So, where can we go to openly explore out loud and share and engage in the process and be willing to risk our reputation, be willing to be wrong? Freestyle is just one of those places that for me, and that I would recommend to others. And so, and then it's very important for me that like this video is done live, because I made a video before this talking about this process, and then I freestyle to sort of demonstrate how I wrestle with these different parts of me, how I wrestle with ideas, how I engage in this process. I'm going to share that. And even just in recording a video though, and then choosing whether or not to post it, there is then the opportunity to not post it or edit it. By doing this type of thing live, it means that there's no other option but for it to be an organic and honest sharing of the process. So I wanted to say that too, because there's something about just the live format that is important to what it is that I'm speaking of here. Because in a freestyle actual session, everyone's there, it's only happening once, here we are, we're seeing each other in it. So those are the ideas that I'm exploring. For anyone that has gotten here late, G, I see you, and I really appreciate you, and I miss you, and I would love to have a conversation with you. For anyone that's getting here late and you want to hear about the ideas that I was speaking of before I jump into this freestyle, you can see the replay. And I'm going to now just practice through freestyle. Yeah, so I'm really learning about holding the tension of these opposites. I want to be careful, prudent, honest, mean what I say, hold responsibility for what it is that I put out there. And I want the freedom to explore. I want the freedom to ignore what is right and what is wrong. I want to be able to be wrong in the moment, presently. I want to be able to blow my own mind and have my mind blown by the way others express in the flow. I love to be surprised about what comes out of people. Like, I would never have expected that. I need some of that. I need that honest expression, that heartfelt movement where it's like, I don't have any ideas or opinions, they just get me. I'm gonna express them out loud, openly, with the willingness to investigate what it was that I said, and then I can take what it is that is meaningful to me, and I can let everything else be like water off a duck's back. I don't need that. Just let it go. And don't identify me as that. We need people that we trust, where it's like, I could say the most dark and triggering and offensive and factually incorrect things, and they'll still be like, respect, I appreciate you, I see you. I don't think that you are those things. I don't need to cancel you from the world. So anyway, let me practice more in this process. I am wrestling out loud with the things that I think, or the things that think me, yeah, these things that I sense. I want to tap into an expression that is the most true, because you see, what I want to communicate here, it's not a finalized idea. It is not a point I want to make. I want to be expressed in a way where you feel me beyond my words. It's a vibe, it's an energy. It's like, I want to call it a soul expression. And that's how I want to be seen and heard. I don't want to be seen for how I'm labeled and what I identify as. I want to be seen for how honestly I will explore and engage myself in a fully participating way in the process of discovery and seeking truth. And this practice right here, you'll notice, is different from rap or hip hop. This is a conversational freestyle. This is approachable to anyone. You don't need musical experience. You just need the willingness to say your words as they happen or before. That's it. Anybody can practice this. And maybe it's not for everyone. Maybe it's not up to me to convince that this should be used, but I am here to use it myself in public and put it on display and demonstrate this is how I play with words and my mind and my feeling, because like I said, this is a full body embodied practice. I can feel my feet on the floor, My hands, they're moving. It's like my body is searching. And I gotta remember my breath in my belly. That's quite important too. And then in this practice, in this space, we might need cues and reminders like, hey, remember your body, because sometimes my energy just shoots up into my head and I blast off and I don't know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Alright? So that's good. I've done it. Let me just give myself one more effort to really let go. I'ma surrender in to the flow, flowing with unknowingness. This is what I'm knowing that I am not knowing or shouting from the rooftop with certainty. A meme that I seen. Fuck all that noise. I'ma tap into the signal of me. What is that one unique voice? Like, damn, get this. In the birth of hip hop and rap and freestyle ciphers, like, this was needed to keep a character alive and growing and have a voice. And that's how it found me. Like, that's why I have so much respect for this as a modality, is because it was a tool for me to build personality, to deepen my voice and my understanding of myself. And it can be used in that way because shit, I do not want my understanding of myself to come from all the things that people say about me on the internet. And I'm already pretty damn good at that, but there are journalists and researchers and writers and figures out there that I deeply respect and I think they're important. And I can see them being threatened by this sick culture, okay? And so this is me exploring out loud like, hey, freestyle, this is a tool, this is a practice, this can be used. And if anyone wants to practice this with me, you can do that. Go to freestylecampfire.com. I post the ciphers on there. They take on different flavors and intentions, each of them. But I definitely recommend the one that takes place in the Wisdom Gym at the Stoa on Saturdays. So there, this has been it. This is me engaging in the process of freestyle and exploring how it might be an antidote to this cancel culture and these rivalrous modes of discourse. We need a space where we have the permission to be wrong, and then to engage in conversation in that space. And freestyle is one way of doing it, because if I really practice it, it's very difficult for me to try and make a point or prove something or be right or push my agenda. If I am truly practicing freestyle, then I am inherently opening myself up to being wrong, to being embarrassed, to making mistakes, and to risking my reputation. So we need a space where people whose reputations are very important to them, we need spaces for them to go and flow with unknowingness. And then be celebrated for that. Be celebrated not for how right they are, not for the facts that they came up with, but for how willing they were to engage the process and be seen in the process. So this is one idea, one antidote for our obsession with the destination, which is always changing. The future is not a destination. It is a process. It is a good evolutionary process, not some ideological promised land. Future doesn't look like that. It is a good process where we engage one another with honesty, good faith, integrity, wisdom practices. And freestyle is just a contribution that I am feeling inspired to make into that space. So I hope that for anyone that sees this, some signal was received. Please share a comment with anything that came up for you, any feedback that you have for me. If you are interested in practicing freestyle together, I would love to just do an introduction for you personally. Like, we can get on a conversation and I'll share this practice with you. That is a gift that I'm feeling inspired to give to anybody who wants to practice this and integrate this into your own ecology of life practices. So that's that. Thank you so much to anyone that sees this video, because I've now had the space to engage in this process of self-discovery and explore out loud, and I'm quite grateful for that. This feels important to me in continuing to increase my capacity to think for myself and be a clear-minded person as best that I can be. All right, peace.